So let's talk about something that might sound a little backwards. We're going to dive into what's called the Dunning-Kruger effect, and this really wild idea that, believe it or not, doubting yourself can actually be a sign that you're pretty smart.
I want to start by asking you a question. Are you smart enough to doubt yourself? It's a weird thing to ask, right? I mean, we're always told that confidence is everything, that it's the key to success. But what if that's not the whole story?
We're kind of obsessed with confidence. We see it everywhere. The idea that if you just project total self-assurance, you've got it made. We often assume the loudest person in the room must be the most competent one. But today, we're going to flip that idea completely on its head.
And that brings us to what's known as the confidence paradox. To understand it, we've got to meet the two psychologists who gave it a name, David Dunning and Justin Kruger.
Okay, so back in 1999, these two uncovered a fascinating glitch in our brains, a cognitive bias that messes with how we see ourselves. Basically, the Dunning-Kruger effect is this. People who don't have much skill in something tend to think they're awesome at it. Meanwhile, the people who are actually experts, well, they tend to think they're not nearly as good as they are.
Okay, check this out. It makes it super clear. Over here on the left, you've got the low performers. Their actual skill, it's this tiny little bar. But their perceived skill, it's way up here. Now look at the high performers. Their actual skill is massive, right? But look where they rank themselves, much lower. That huge gap on both sides, that's the Dunning-Kruger effect, right there. So what in the world is going on here?
Well, let's talk about the first part of this journey. Dunning and Kruger had a kind of hilarious name for this peak of overconfidence. They called it climbing Mount Stupid. And this is that really dangerous phase where knowing just a tiny bit about something makes you feel like a total pro. You learn 3 chords on the guitar and suddenly you're ready to headline a festival. Or you watch one YouTube tutorial on coding and you think you're ready to hack the mainframe. The problem is, you don't even know enough to realize how much you have left to learn. So why does this happen? Well, it's kind of like a double whammy. Not only do they lack the skill to do the thing well, they also lack the skill to even see that they're not doing it well. That ability to accurately judge yourself is called metacognition. And without it, a little bit of knowledge feels like the whole dang encyclopedia. But then you have the total flip side. For the people who are genuine experts, their journey takes them to a completely different place, a place we can call the Valley of Humility. You see, the more you truly learn about a subject, the more you start to realize just how vast and complex it is. It's like an iceberg. The beginner sees the little tip sticking out of the water and thinks, yeah, I got this. But the expert knows about the colossal mountain of ice hiding beneath the surface. And that awareness is incredibly humbling. I mean, the contrast in their thinking is just night and day. The novice is thinking, this is easy. The expert is thinking, whoa, this is complicated. What am I missing here? And the expert also makes a critical mistake. They assume that because something feels easy to them, it must be easy for everyone. That's why they so often underestimate their own amazing talent.
So, what are we supposed to do with all this information? How can we actually use it? Well, it really all comes down to changing how we think about the idea of doubt itself. Think about it. That little nagging voice in your head, that feeling of self-doubt, it's not a sign that you're failing or that you're not good enough. It's actually a wisdom check. It's your brain basically telling you, hey, you're smart enough to see that this is a complex situation. It's a sign of intellectual humility. And the best part is, you can totally get better at this. Here are 3 super simple steps. First, get comfortable with saying, I don't know. It's one of the most powerful things you can say. Second, go out and actually ask for honest feedback. And third, maybe the most important of all, just never ever stop being curious. Because in the end, it all boils down to this: the ability to question yourself, to wonder if you could be wrong. That isn't a flaw. It's one of the single greatest signs of intelligence you can have.
So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. What's one thing you're willing to doubt today?